I'm Dorothy Godin, broker through Max Crown Realty here in Sudbury, Ontario, and welcome to Thursday Thoughts. Well, spring is just around the corner. We survived the storm. And the reason I know that spring and the spring market is just around the corner is that in the last 7 days, we'd have 54 new active listings come on the market. And that was through a long weekend, the long weekend of Easter. So these are really positive signs. And I know I've been showing houses, so I know that there's buyers out there. And as I said last week, we're seeing multiple offers. I wanted to touch on one thing. So at Remax Crown Realty here in Sudbury, we have Tuesday morning meetings where we talk about current issues in the market. And then we have a monthly meeting where we have a guest speaker. And this month we had a lawyer come in and she was talking about, some of the issues that come up before closing. And one of the biggest one was, as a buyer and as a seller, when can you expect to take title and possession of your new home? It does say in the offer that this offer will close on such a date, no later than 6 p.m. And basically what that means is, you can't, it has to close before 6 p.m. And that's going to happen because the registrar closes at 5. So there's no closing between 5 and 6. Um, the problem is they don't go down to the registrar anymore. They're doing most of the things electronically. So you could close anywhere from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock. So as a seller, you need to understand that you should be out of that house by 12 o'clock. It should be nice and clean, and you lock it up, and the keys are at the lawyer's office because the buyer's lawyer, may be able to close very early and may be able to close at 1 o'clock. And you don't want to be at the house trying to move out at 3 o'clock, and the buyer who has keys and now owns that house, seller, you're still there, and he's got his big truck there ready to move in. So please understand that as a seller, we need you out of the house probably close to noon, all cleaned up, out of the house. And that way, when the buyer gets their keys, that's when possession happens, even though it says no later than 6 p.m. in the offer, which is fine. The key word is no later than. It doesn't mean that as a seller you get to hang out at the house till 6 o'clock. That's just not how it works. So, we just got to set that expectation when we're working with buyers and sellers of how that transition actually happens. The other issue that was brought up was about rentals. So hot water tanks, furnace, air conditioners, many of them are on a rental contract, and we need to know if they're assumable. Not all rentals are assumable, so that you don't want that to be a hiccup, a week before closing. And sometimes there is confusion with sellers about, is it a rental or is it a rent to own? Which is totally different. And so we just need some clarity, and we should be doing that at the listing presentation. Get clarity, maybe see contracts, make sure if it's a rental, it's assumable. If it's a rent to own, then we have to figure out how that is going to work and if there's going to be a payout. So I hope you find that helpful. I know these are simple things, but there's simple things that make closing that much easier for yourselves as a buyer and a seller, and for your lawyers for sure. Hope you have a great week. As always, you can reach at Dorothy Godin at remax.net or 705-561-2360. Have a good one.